Hey everybody, Strangers123 here. Today with another replay cast, finally some actual YouTube content. Nice name over there, by the way. But hey, this is not a replay from myself. This is in fact Vilketis_LV, Vilketis on Twitch TV, one of my regular Twitch TV viewers. He submitted this Gnevny replay. I saw the post-battle result screens and all, but before we get too much into this game, if you want me to cast your replay, be it if you want me to commentate on something you think you could improve on, or something you don't know how you could have handled better, or if you just want me to cast it, or if you just want me to go do some stupid esports commentary voice on it, I bet most people don't, but hey, submit your replays to replays.strangers123@gmail.com. There will be a address in the description below, since annotations aren't a thing anymore. But there'll be a email address in the description below. Submit your replays there, and also give me a quick description of it. In your message. Obviously, don't forget the replay file. Don't worry about which version of it is. I have like pretty much every single installation down to pretty much 0.3.5. I think back when they actually first changed how armor worked back in closed beta. So if you have some old replays you want me to check out, feel free to send them my way as well. Maybe, and we'll see what we can get going. Anyways, this replay seems a little bit buggy at the moment. There seems to be a Nürnberg that has had the UI element creep up here. But hey, replays are replays after all, and it seems to have fixed itself now. Anyways, we're creeping forwards at quarter ahead. Well, 9 knots basically. Pretty much seeing which way the teams are deploying. Friendly Nürnberg, New Mexico coming this way, Keto heading to the other side, Congo the spawn west coming this direction, Gleblo, Myoko, Okosnik, Nagato heading to the west. So it's a pretty reasonable team split overall, so there's no real reason for us not to head towards the eastern side of the map and try to make a move. This, of course, being a standard battle, there is no real hurry to get forwards and into an advanced position, because often that just means if you get spotted, you get focused, and you have a rather bad game. Regardless, opening spots of the game, it is the York, followed shortly by the enemy Podzvalski, seemingly very aggressively pushing down towards the 9-10 line. If this guy gets behind us, he could be minorly annoying spamming, or he can just hide behind an island. But at the end of the day, this guy is not going to be able to get anywhere near to able to get any torpedo in. That's under-led, so that's probably going to miss. And rather unfortunate, but he doesn't shoot us back, but we do actually reveal our position. Maybe we could have gotten closer, but when it comes to Russian versus Russian destroyer, getting closer just means that you're just trading health at that point. Whoever gets better luck with fires, module crits and stuff like that basically wins the engagement. Another slightly under-led salvo. We only clip one. The opponent, the Kosnik, does clip a few more. Both of us set a fire, which is rather unfortunate, but because we shot, the York is now keeping us spotted. These torpedoes, 4 kilometers in range, probably aren't going to achieve anything, because the opponent, Podzvalski, probably isn't going to close the range. We are actually closing the range on him. If he had engine boosted here, we actually would have evaded that shell. But now that we've got our aim set properly, it's time to actually start getting the trades in. 2.5k, the return salvo dealing 1.4, so we've basically made up the health deficit, although he's kind of knocked a bit more off us than we have of him, because we're both on the same health and we have a little bit more to start with. But this is pretty much just trading health with each other, so it doesn't really go in our favor overall for a strong late game. Our team doesn't seem to have been that interested in pushing towards the eastern side of the map, and we're not really making too much progress on the western side at the moment, although Hagato is rather up ahead. We do set a fire on the Podzvalski as the enemy team is pushing the eastern side of the map. So now it's really a question of, do we rush this Podzvalski down? T22, who is rushing middle, and the York probably won't last long, but do we rush this guy down and get rid of him? Now finally triggering our engine boost. But, it is either rush him down or wait for him to expire from the smoke screen, or leave the smoke screen naturally and then shoot him to death and trade health on him later on. Rushing him down obviously being the much more riskier approach, because getting spotted at 2 kilometers, if our guns and torpedoes are pointing the wrong way and his are loaded and ready to go, pointing the correct direction and ready to torpedo us, this could be very, very nasty. So it really all depends. Well, I mean, it wouldn't even really be skill at this point. It's really just playing the mind game and trying to take your chance with the enemy destroyer and which way he is facing. His smoke screen probably doesn't have much more than like 20 seconds left on it, so if we are going to rush him, we need to get into that smoke screen rather fast, otherwise it could be a very awkward situation as we're advancing and he could potentially have turned himself around on the border and be now preparing to head north, using the border to prevent himself from having lateral movement and just having the north-south movement to turn himself around. Anyways, we've reached the border as well now, as we finally spot the Podvaisky, but this could be very nasty. We fire our guns, in my opinion, a little bit of a mistake. I would have immediately attempted to aim torpedoes on target. We do kind of use the border to toss the Podvaisky's aim off. We actually managed to snap torpedo tubes around, but I don't think the Podvaisky had the ability to actually turn the tubes on target to point them at us, so he launches them at whatever vector he can get the torpedoes off. However, because we fired our main battery, we remained detected for slightly longer than we otherwise would have. So that could have been unfortunate if Graspe and Baguette were paying attention and could have put some more damage into us. At this point, we are rather losing, so any health we can keep onto could probably be quite nice. Anyways, enemy destroyer eliminated, and the western flank, the enemy's down flank, the Baguette, Cleavelol, and Nicholas are actually pushing away our Cleveland, Miyoko, and Nagato, which is quite unfortunate because we kind of need to be able to have one flank secured, and that is pretty much half of our current, more than half of our team, but half of our total team on that side of the map or the middle. We do see that the High-Footy Graspe is rather aggressively coming around. We're going to smoke screen here before we get spotted, hopefully. Nope, we do actually get spotted, rather unfortunate, but I probably wouldn't stick around with a Graspe around because those things can have hydroacoustic search, and his German hydroacoustic search, so he'll probably spot us as at around, I don't know, like 4.8 kilometers at this tier. I'm not exactly sure of the strength of the Graspe's hydroacoustic search, but if he has it on, we would have been spotted by now, so I guess we can call it rather safe that we don't actually have it. Friendly Congo does get knocked out at this point, so we've lost complete spotting of the right side of the map. And with our division mate now having gone back towards the middle of the map, this is a rather risky move. We need to be able to trade this Graspe down, or at least make sure we kill him, otherwise this is a waste of a Gnevny. So we'll see, but he should be crossing the corner rather soon, so I probably would consider leaving the smoke screen right about now as well if the guy had been going full speed ahead. Do not blind torpedo at this point. If we have any chance of living, we need to make sure that we get, I think, 3 torpedoes on target at this point. We immediately launch since we're sitting there waiting for torpedoes, and now we fire our main battery as well. Pretty unfortunate that the Graspe does actually get a very good salvo on us, but 4 torpedoes seals the deal, but because we fired our main battery, we're going to be detected for the next 12-13 seconds, which could mean that the enemies could get another shot on, and a lucky Congo salvo could knock us out of the game right here, right now. Doesn't seem like the Congo is aiming on us. We don't actually damage control party our engine. The Baguette does actually send some shells our way. I don't think they're going to hit. Those look rather far away from us, and at this point I probably would have just damage control party the engine because there's no real need to have it damaged like this. We're not going to get ourselves in any form of engagement, but we have last stand, so you know we can still continue ahead. Lost vision of the Congo at the moment. The island prevents us from getting spotting on that, as another Graspe gets knocked out on the other side of the map, but we're still not making any kind of progress at all overall. Anyway, Congo is kind of reversing for some reason. But at this point, I guess we kind of wish we were in any other destroyer that had a bit longer torpedo range than this. I mean, heck, even a Farragut can invisibly torp at an advancing target, something the Gnevny needs, I think, 60-knot torpedoes with 4-kilometer range. Forget it, not happening. Like, even a destroyer rushing in. Actually, a destroyer rushing in might just be able to, with engine boost, suck these torpedoes if you launch them kind of at a guy from a semi-parallel position 3 kilometers off the side, and you know, without being detected, it could be doable, because you do have 6.1 kilometers concealment. Regardless, KGV, Congo, Baguette, and another Congo further behind are advancing down this line with us, plus a friendly New Mexico to stop that. So if we're going to get out of this one, it really just is a question of how silly the enemy team is going to be and how much damage they're willing to feed Velketis here for us to get actually a good game. Although we have a decent game already. We smoke up and immediately engage the KGV, creeping forwards at quarter ahead just to be able to get a slightly bigger smoke screen. Definitely a good idea here. However, we do have a Baguette behind us, and if he engine boosts into the smoke and uses Hydro, we could be in some severe trouble over here. So we get a double fire on the KTV. So a little bit of additional damage if he is going to let that burn. But the Congos are not really going to be able to get into torpedo range of this smoke screen before the smoke screen expires. They've got a minute to travel about 10 kilometers. That isn't really going to happen. Well, 7-8 kilometers before they get in torpedo range. But if you fail to torpedo and kill the target at this range, you are pretty much screwed. Because they're just going to shoot you. You don't have torpedoes. And, well, you're going to explode. Nicht gut. But the Congos aren't really that interested in advancing on a smoke screen. I mean, smoke screen usually means that there's something that have torpedoes inside there, especially considering it's clearly a destroyer shooting out of it. We do get a very temporary spot on the enemy baguette, as our New Mexico seems to be getting himself stuck in a very nasty position. 4 enemy ships potentially targeting him, and no one there to share the tanking with. Baguette torpedoes do pass behind us because we let the smoke get pretty much the perfect timing. None of those find the target very good because any torpedo probably would have just upfront killed us. And we evacuate the smoke screen before the baguette gets too close to keep us permanently spotted. That baguette is not fast enough to be able to just simply rush us down, so we can easily outrun and get away from that. But we're down to 3 smoke screens left now. We have a total of 3 smoke screens than we used to. We've got 1 left. I cannot even count. I mean, it clearly says the number down there. 1. Baguette does manage to burn our division mate down, so that's our major firepower for de-baguetting us gone and out of the game. So that could be really difficult for the rest of this game, because that baguette could quickly get into a dangerous position and knock us out of it. That would be pretty bad. But we still have 2 full HP Congos, half HP KGV, and even that enemy New Mexico that we would need to deal with, the Nagato, is in a face-on engagement with that. So if we want to win this, well, if we had a torpedo boat, we could have torpedoed all these Congos on the way in and hopefully done some good damage to that as the Miyoko torpedoes passed us. Not a major problem because we can easily evade these torpedoes. And it's not like the Miyoko torpedoed into us while we were brawling. If we were brawling, I definitely would have just taken the friendly torpedoes and turned the guy pink. But we spot the Congo behind us now, and we're trying to reverse behind the other. I don't think we're going to make this. This guy is coming in really, really hot, and there's a baguette behind us, so... Ooh, personally, I would have just engines ahead and get to the next island and try to use that to create a ambush, but because right now, if that enemy Congo is halfway smart, he's just simply not going to close the distance on us. He's just gonna stop there, break away, and not push his luck against us. But we do get our smoke screen up, so we're no longer detected, but the Congo is no longer detected either. Personally, I probably would consider trying to focus down the baguette, because that's the target most likely to rush into us, and that is the only remaining enemy target that could potentially have Hydra detect us. Congo gets a very close salvo that could have ended us right there if he got lucky, hit the water, and got a penetration plus an over penetration on us. 2 shell hits could have ended our game right there. So that is quite nice. But yes, the Congo kind of did the smart thing, stopped and started reversing, knowing that we only have 4 kilometer torpedo range and we headed slightly away, so... no torpedo hits for us on that. However, we do get a fire, but this baguette is getting kind of close to us now, and I think we have like just short of 3 kilometers surface detectability range when shooting from inside of a smoke screen. So we won't be able to shoot this Congo for much longer without getting ourselves spotted. Congo takes another blind shot at us, completely misses, but this baguette is getting dangerously close. I don't exactly know what that baguette was expected to achieve with that salvo, but I guess something. Anyways, Baguette seems to be making the critical mistake of doing a weird broadside turn next to a smoke screen like this. The smoke screen still got 20 seconds left on it, but we need to evacuate it. I would not open fire on the Baguette at this point, but it doesn't really matter. Baguette is going to die, so we don't remain spotted by him. However, the problem here is that the moment we leave, we are definitely getting spotted. The Congo to our side that is right up our tail is going to keep us permanently spotted, so it doesn't matter, but... at this point, there's no biggie in shooting at this Congo for a little bit, because we can quickly run ourselves behind, just taking the free camera, this island and get ourselves safe. And this guy's now turning away, so now is definitely a bad time to be shooting. We're putting our ship at unnecessarily, quite a lot of unnecessary risk. That salvo is always going to come, but I think this guy should be able to get another salvo on us because we're spotted. We would have been normally undetected now. So we have to evade this guy's salvo. He needs to hit us 4 times and we're out of this game. But, ooh, Island needs it, and this Congo misses us. Very fortunate series of salvos from the enemy battleships, although this guy's aim seems to be rather off-point at this point, but this guy is really close. Even got 2 very close MLG salvos against us. He currently is still spotted with the Congo, and we're going to set up a ambush on the corner of this island in the event that the Congo does decide to try to rush into us. Rushing the Congo itself could be a potential option if we waited just a little bit and then engine boosted around the corner and into his face, although that would probably result in a trade and we end up dying at that point, so that definitely means we have absolutely no chance of winning this game, although let's be completely honest, our chances of winning this game are next to none anyways, because at this point we would not be able to reach the enemy's capture point, the enemy's home spawn, and be able to capture it on our own on time, because it takes 3 minutes to solo cap, and we probably would need over a minute and a half to actually get there, on top of having to sail past a friendly Congo, and potentially running into a New Mexico or KGV at close range without a smokescreen. Anyways, the Congo towards our south is now spotted, so this could be a rather nasty position if that enemy Congo does decide to get closer and into range, but the other Congo, the one we're actually hunting for, at this point has yet to show up, so yep, there it is. It probably meant that he was trying to go to the other side, and there we go. But this means we are actually clear to try to make an escape, but without a smoke screen we probably would have been detected by the Congo that is currently straight ahead of us. But we rush forwards to get spotted by him, but we need to be able to trade down the other Congo, who is going to get a free shot on us at this point. Fish in the water, 1 in front and 1 behind, because it is likely the target is going to try to turn in. At this point, I probably would be trying to cut in like this and try to make distance from this guy over here. We do actually fail to kill this guy up front, but it seems that he is flooding. We do get our caliber, more secondary fire incoming, Miyoko shells coming and knock out the other Congo, but we are now way too close to this guy. And no smoke screen. We used unnecessarily smoke screen earlier, which could have made life quite easy for us here to evade this Congo. If we had that smoke screen, we could potentially easily just smoke up and try to gain some distance on this guy, wait for him, see what happens, and then maybe even come back and rush him down. Ooh, the Congo's main battery salvos do completely miss us. Thankfully, this enemy Congo's aim is absolutely horrible, and the other guy's dispersion was also horrible. So we're still alive, but we need to get ourselves out of the secondary range really, really fast, because we can't take many more hits. In fact, 2 hits from the secondaries and 1 hit from main battery, I think that will just kill us. So, dodgy situation to be in, but I think the Congo, did he just... I think this guy may even be trying to engage the Miyoko now instead of finishing us, and our torpedoes are almost back online. Miyoko having torpedoed at this Congo. Ooh, yeah, it does in fact seem like the Congo has ignored us. I think that could be a big mistake for this guy's long-term survivability, so we're trying to close the distance on him again. Personally, at this point, I would be keeping... I wouldn't be looking like this. I don't know what kind of game settings you play on, but I would be looking in and paying attention to this guy and the way he is turning. If he suddenly decides to turn main battery on us, I would be immediately wanting to make sure that I can launch my torpedoes before going down. But it seems like this Congo is not really aware what long cylindrical explosive objects are able to do to his ship, and we survive the hammering from the secondary batteries with 489 health left, but this game is still looking pretty bad because the enemy has 2 battleships left, and in standard battle, you know what that means. Battleship means 100 points differential, minus 60 for the allied team, plus 40 for the enemy team. Cruisers and destroyers are 30 and 45, so 75 total there, and 35 plus 50, so 85, and you can see that the points difference there is really what matters here. We've got 1 minute and a half left in this game. This New Mexico is coming towards us, but all these guys need to do is just advance in the other direction. This guy is not going to be able to DPM down any of these guys in any reasonable amount of time, aka 1.25 of a minute. And there's no way without any more consumables we're actually going to be able to reach. Although without Superintendent, we would have been out of engine boost. And by now we would have been out of smoke screens as well. So unfortunately, I think this is going to be a very nasty defeat with 169,999 damage. Wargaming game isn't even like screw you. Nope. You cannot have 170,000. You're going to sit here on 169,999 because 9, you will not get 170,000. But regardless, Miyoko will never be able to trade anything down, and if we trade ourselves, we're still not going to be able to win this game because they have a battleship, we have a cruiser, And in a matchmaking where there are the exact same amount of battleships on each side, they have 4, we have 4, but one of them would still be alive, even after we trade. The 40 points difference we can see they're just not enough because, well, destroyers are 75, battleships are 100, so nope, you'd still be 5 points short. And there's no way, with 14 seconds left of the game, we're going to be able to block the enemy cap for how many seconds would that be? 18 seconds plus 2 points every time. And at this point, even if we die here, it really would just, mean end, and we're never going to get to torpedo him. So very, very unfortunate defeat over here. This is such a great game. Would have been so amazing if it actually was a victory. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast. If you want to see me cast your games, or just maybe even suggest, gameplay improvements, if that's what you want, would like to be able to give something back to the community in this sense, considering the rather vast experience I have in World of Warships, send your replay in to replays.strangers123@gmail.com. Again, I will, if I remember, and actually I'm not too stupid and retarded about this, I will leave you a email address in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed this replay cast, and I shall catch you guys in the next one.